Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm going to do a quick talk. This is not going to be a long one, so tune in, comment, like it, all the good stuff, share it if you can. How to get a feature film made when you don't really have any money, or as I titled it, how to become a feature filmmaker and not have to wait years to do it. Okay, so this is a strategy, a way in which you can go about this to get yourself started. And it's the one location feature film. Now, I know that sounds super boring or like it doesn't work for a lot of people, but here's the thing. If you want to get making feature films, if you want to get your projects made, you want to start getting money to make stuff, you really have like 2 or 3 options. Maybe you have 4. Okay, the worst option, in my opinion, is that you start working on set as like a PA and you work your way up. That'll take you many years. The benefit of it, I mean, I don't say don't do it, but it's worth doing because, you know, you'll get experience and you'll make a lot of contacts, and that's really great. But as far as getting yourself to be a filmmaker and being a director and getting the projects you want made, it's not necessarily the best route. It's kind of something where I'd say like it's a good assist, you know, to what you want to do. The other option is you can make a short film. Now, short film, or many short films, really, they're good in the sense that what you can do with those is you can start to build a reel as a director. And that can be good because you can start to demonstrate what you can do. You might be able to win some awards and film festivals, but that's a total maybe. There's Charlie, by the way. Always got to make an appearance in these videos. The thing with the short film, and the reason why that's not always so funny, cat in the window shot, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. Anyway, for those of you who want to go down the short film road, I think it's a good way to start before you ever make a feature. It's worth it to make at least like 1 or 2 or 3 shorts just to start to get a feel for things, to not make things too complicated. But the problem with the short film road is there's a couple issues. One is that you may never get into film festivals, even if you have a great film. And you may never win awards. And even if you do get into major film festivals and win major awards and even get distribution, nobody really cares about short films who's a player in the industry. So it's very, very rare that a short film ever gets financed and ever really opens the door for people for their career as filmmakers. Really, short films are just practice so that you can basically learn how to make your own feature. But like, the short film road is still kind of like a stepping stone to get to your feature. So very, very rarely does someone make a short film and then some producer or financer comes along and helps you like take it to the next step. It does happen, but it's rare. It's worth it to make short films if you haven't made anything at all, but it's not necessarily the best option. Another option is the proof of concept. This just takes the short film option, but it kind of puts it a little bit on steroids. So the idea with the proof of concept is you make a short or something that's even shorter than a short. It's not designed to be released to film festivals. What it's designed to do is basically be a proof that if you were to make a certain film, that it would be really good and it would be worth financing and investing. This can be a really good model in certain ways because you might not get into festivals and win awards because it's not designed for that, but it might help you to get financing for a project, or it might help you to sell a project, or, you know, get something made. The problem with that proof of concept model is that, you know, very rarely will the people who create the proof of concept kind of be the people that'll be at the helm of it by the time it actually gets financed or made, if it even gets to that process. So again, the proof of concept can take time, and also there's no guarantee it's going to work anyway, and you might have to make several of them before you kind of make something work. So the alternative after, you know, doing those options really is to just go out and make a feature film. The biggest issue though that people are going to run into is like why they don't make a feature film is because they don't have enough experience, they don't have enough money, they don't have enough contacts, and, you know, the thing is too complicated, they don't know how to raise money, all this other stuff. But basically time, money, contacts, that's what it comes down to. So there's a simple way to solve this. Just make all those non-issues. And the way you do that is you do the one location film. So the one location film is, 80% of your movie or more takes place in one location, so that there's not a lot of company moves. You don't have to move everybody from location to location. You're just shooting in like one house, one building, one town, places where you could like just kind of hoof your gear over across the street and you can get another shot and move it over here or whatever. It could all take place in an apartment, or it could take place on, like a farm or on a beach or whatever. But the idea is that you don't have to drive anywhere and there's no like complex places to go. So this is the idea with the one location film. Some people take it to an extreme and they literally make 100% of their movie in one location. You can totally do that. The reason why I say 80% is because there is kind of room to get pickup shots and get other shots from other places that you can kind of insert into your movie later, and it won't cost you that much and be very complicated, provided you design it properly. So if you have questions about that, you can ask me. But this one location film is really a great way to go. Also, you shoot for, a week, right? You shoot your script in no more than 2 weeks. Absolutely, that's your max. 14 days is all you got. But 14 is probably even too much. Less days, less money. So if you can shoot your film in 5 to 7 days, you shoot really quick. You keep the gear extremely minimal, and it revolves around 2 or 3 actors, 5 at the most. You can go and make your feature film, and you can make it for pretty much nothing. So this is called like the micro budget or the ultra low budget, or they have all sorts of like names for these types of films, right? Whereas the no budget film, well, if you make a feature, there's certain costs that you will incur no matter what. Like you have to feed people and things like that. If you don't, one of 2 problems will kind of occur. Either a union or someone will kind of come down on you if you need to use union actors. And 2, the people you work with, if you're not feeding them, they're not going to be happy with you, and your set morale will die. So you need to spend some money on something. You might need to pay for, certain people to show up for the day, but you could pay them a very minimal price. If you, are kind of like, can kind of get everybody involved and kind of rah behind the project, they might be willing to do it as just a labor of love, because in a lot of ways it could help their career too and lead you guys to making your next project together. So the one location film is a great film. I know a lot of filmmakers who have actually, gotten deals out of doing this. I think it's the fastest way to go. I think if you haven't made anything, start with the short film. But if you've made a few short films, or you're kind of like, you just want to jump right into it, and maybe you have some experience around filmmaking, but you haven't necessarily made one yourself. If you surround yourself with the right people, if you get like some experienced people to kind of help you go through the process, you might be able to jump straight to the feature. Also, if you want to get a feature film made and you're an actor, you don't necessarily have to direct it. You could hire a director and hire someone to help you produce it while you act in it. So there's lots of options around that. But make the one location film. I think it's a great way to go, and it's a great way to start getting films made. Get yourself out there as an actor, get yourself out there as a director, and if you're a writer, to actually get your material seen, right? Because we all know, anyone who's a screenwriter who's been doing this for a while knows it's hard to get a script read. But if you make a movie, it's a lot easier to get someone to like take a look at it. Even if you cut a trailer of what you filmed, and then that can actually get people to be like, okay, well, I'll watch the movie or read the script or whatever, so we're in a visual time. People want to see stuff. So I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, of course, like post on the thread and all of that. I'm creating avenues for people to work out their filmmaking and become better at all of this stuff and practice. I've created the Filmmaker Gym. So if you want to be a part of that, where we run through scenarios and we'll practice, all of the necessary things you need to have on set so you can, frame the shot, focus it, get all your coverage, learn how to move the camera, learn how to direct actors, learn how to cast, all of that stuff, for basically, a fraction of the cost it would cost you to actually make a film. And then by the time you get there, you'll feel like you're really experienced. And this is kind of designed so that you don't have to go and make a bunch of short films first just to make your feature. You'll actually have the preparation through this live course, which I think is going to be really fun. So anyway, if you're interested, post on the thread, and we can maybe get you a spot in that. And so start thinking about the one location film. Start thinking about something you can do where you could tell a really good story that doesn't have to be taking place everywhere and doesn't have to have a lot of visual and special effects and stuff. You know, some hints on what you could do are the sci-fi style, the horror genre. You could work with the drama or the art film. You could do, you know, you could do a whole bunch of things, right? So the comedy, right? So these types of things could be your first film. And the last thing I'm going to say about it is when you set out to make your first feature film, don't set out with the whole idea of like, whoa, we're going to be the Blair Witch Project or whatever, or Paranormal Activity and make millions and millions of dollars. Instead, make it as a test. Make it for fun. Make it because you want to make a film and just see what you can do with it. And if it works out to open up some doors, then great. If not, then there's no loss and you can go and make your next film. Also, try to spend as little as possible. And when I say as little as possible, I'm talking about spending like 5 to 10 grand on your very first film. Don't spend any more than that. I'd say maybe like at the absolute most, if you're going to get a little crazy, 30 grand. But if you haven't made a bunch of shorts and you haven't kind of, you know, won any awards or done anything with festivals, then definitely don't go over that because there's too much room for error. And of course, you can always go back and do reshoots. There's all sorts of things. So, you know, don't let your fear get in the way. You know, one of the things I want to try to do is bring up what are the excuses and then eliminate them so that we can move forward and actually make this stuff and get you guys out there doing what you want to do. So I hope that helps. I'm Brandon Colby Cook. If you haven't yet, join Fast Filmmaker. There's a link down below or it's off to the side. Yeah, and thanks for tuning into these videos. Like them, share them, tell your friends about them. Yeah, and let me know if you guys have questions and I will follow up with answers. Okay, I'll see you guys all soon. Keep tuning in.